really, really bold prediction, I think. But there are a lot of good rookies this year. So my bold prediction is that Connor Bedard does not win the Calder Trophy.
That's a cop-out. Come on.
Harp missed our last episode, eh?
Are you serious, Harp? That's the boldest prediction you could come up with?
His bold prediction last year is that someone was going to sign a contract, so
Oh, yeah, Shane Gostisbehere to re-sign in Arizona, I think it was.
Okay, no, I don't accept this. I know, I don't care. I don't accept this. I know your bold prediction. You want it to be Connor Bedard will not win the Calder Trophy. I don't care. You need to pick somebody who is going to win instead of Connor Bedard to make this pick and prediction extra spicy and extra bold. That's what I need from you, Harper.
Okay.
I'll put my life savings on betting on who Harper's going to pick.
All right, let's have it.
It's going to be Logan Cooley. Like, the guy is the biggest Arizona fan in the world and loves Logan Cooley as much as he loves Tyler Ennis.
Oh, that's a lot. That's a lot.
Well, yes, let's go with that. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And
Harp, didn't mean to derail you. Give me why you think Bedard
that is quite all right.
win.
Yeah, why won't Bedard win it?
Yeah, and then tell me about Cooley, because that's your locked in pick.
Well, and again, it's early and it is a bold take because, I mean, let's face it, Bedard is a generational talent. I think it's safe to say to put that tag on him, and is the favorite to win the Calder Trophy. But you look around that Chicago lineup, and he doesn't have the supporting cast that some of these other guys do. And you look at Logan Cooley in Arizona, who is and he's got Calder around him and Schmaltz and all these great players. And not to say that Chicago doesn't have anyone else besides Bedard, but it really thins out. And Taylor Hall was back in the lineup, of course, the other night against Toronto. But especially when he's out, or Athanasiou, or any of these guys are out, it really makes it more challenging for him. As talented as he is, he's a young kid coming into the league. The NHL's hard, man. In your first year, there's going to be some growing pains for him, even though he is going to be one of the next great ones. I just think that a guy like Logan Cooley could really grab this thing, and it's a bold prediction. I get it, but he's got a pretty good surrounding cast in Arizona, a lot better than Bedard has in Chicago, and Arizona is a team that could very well be playing meaningful games down the stretch. So there we go. But no, don't apologize for derailing me at all. I'm glad that second question came up here. So anyway, what do we think about that to finish off?
Well, as Casey and I talked about last week when we talked about the Calder rankings and we did our snake draft, we had Cooley number 4 and Bedard number 1, which I guess shows you why this is a bold take or a bold prediction. But what Casey and I talked about, really, it came down to opportunity. And even though Bedard isn't surrounded by the most talented players, he is going to get every opportunity on the planet to prove that he belongs in the NHL as an elite player. So he's going to get first power play time, first line minutes, 5-on-5, like total, he's going to play like 20 minutes a night. We've already seen that. Yes, he's going to play against some pretty good competition, but they're going to do everything they can to get him out there in favorable matchups too. Whereas a guy like Logan Cooley, to start the season, I think he was slotted in as the second line center. Yeah. And I'm sure he's going to bounce around the lineup a bit because Arizona has other players who can kind of slot in and play up and down the lineup and give you something else other than just offensive firepower that Cooley brings. Yes, he's going to get power play time, but I just don't know if he's going to get the same opportunity of Bedard. So I guess there's a bit of a push and pull there. Yes, you want tons of opportunity, but at the same time, you also need players to pass to, and those two players are in slightly different situations. So I guess it just depends which situation you think is best.
Yeah, and in the end, I wonder how much weight that the voters put into secondary assists, which I just feel like Cooley's going to have more secondary assists in the end. That's just based off having more guys to pass to and more, chain passes and power play points, etc. But I will say that I've been impressed with Cooley since the start of the season. We thought he was going to get less of an opportunity, but he's played 19 minutes a game and has 3 points in 3 assists. He hasn't produced much in terms of offense, like himself. He's not driving, but he's definitely been in the play when they're scoring. Like his expected goals is 0.1 through 2 games. So, that's relatively low, but it's 2 games. What am I even like? How much can I really say? I think it's going to be a close race between the two of them. Cooley's definitely going to be up there in the voting. Like we mentioned that last week, but I think what does make this bold is that everyone thinks it's going to be Bedard, and as it's all you hear in the media right now. That's why Taylor Hall is telling everyone to shut up, because it's probably weighing pretty heavily on Bedard, but he's also looked good so far, so it's going to be interesting.
Absolutely. And I mean, by no means, I'd be a nutcase if I were saying that Bedard didn't look good. He looks absolutely fantastic. And he is a play driver right now for the Blackhawks. Logan Cooley may become that for Arizona as the season goes on, or one of those guys. Obviously, it's Clayton Calder that's the play driver, the number 1 guy for Arizona. But Cooley, could end up being up there depending on what kind of year he has. So he'll be up there for sure, and that's why it's a bold taking him to win it.
He's good, man.
In the game that I watched of Arizona against New Jersey, where Arizona won shootout. What stood out, the only 2 players that stood out to me, the rest of Arizona meld into one clump of a player, was Logan Cooley and Vejmelka, who, of course, he played unbelievable. He's playing a team that they shouldn't beat. That's when he shows up every game. He shows up for top 5 teams or top 10 teams or whatever you want to say.
Way it goes.
So those 2 guys stood out to me. Everyone else kind of looked like one big ball of a player.
Yeah. Got Vejmelka, at least, in case you haven't been able to say yet that your team got Soderblommed, because that's what happened to the Maple Leafs the other night. Yeah. Even though, that was just, he didn't even have a fantastic game. They just couldn't score. But the one thing I wanted to mention about Bedard, did you guys see how he got absolutely cleaned out in his first game against Sid on the faceoffs? Not even close. And obviously that's tough for a young player. And faceoffs really, we know by the numbers, the advanced numbers, they don't really dictate play that much anyways, because the game is so fast. But it was just kind of funny. They kept showing his highlights and, lost another one. Lost another one. It's what are you going to do? Man,
it's dad strength. I remember when I was 17, 18, you end up playing in a men's league and you lose every faceoff because they're forearms, or I don't know. They just have dad strength. And I think Sidney Crosby's has that strength. All these guys who have been in the league for so long, it's you come in as an 18-year-old and you get absolutely ripped apart. That's why they probably should have a center playing on Bedard's wing to take some draws, like the Devils did with Jack and Howla last year.
Yeah.
Well, that's the great thing about Crosby. He probably was thinking, this is great. This kid is awesome, but I'm gonna kill this kid tonight in the face-off circle, and he certainly did. So